against a Salford side playing only their second game in this stage of a Super League season, and that was 13 years ago. But this is a Salford side who've shaken up the established order of things in the competition with their third place finish. They've won 8 in a row, and another win here would take them a step closer to Old Trafford. The winners will head to St Helens next week. The losers get another chance with a home game against the Salford Tigers. Wigan in great form as well going into this game. They've won 8 in a row at home, and they are without Oliver Partington, who is suspended, but Liam Farrell is back after his 1-game ban, and Liam Marshall returns after 2 out. Hardacre at fullback, Marshall and Burgess the wings, Hankinson in for Dan Sargentson, Oliver Gildart, George Williams and Thomas Luluai. The pack, Tony Clubb, Sam Powell, Liam Byrne, just 20 years of old, making his playoff debut. Willie Isa, Liam Farrell back to captain the side, and a youngster, another 18-year-old, Morgan Smithies. And on the bench, Ben Flower, Joe Greenwood, Sean O'Loughlin in his 34th playoff appearance, and Bevan French. The coach is Adrian Lamb. Now Salford coming into this game after a great run of form. They've won 8 in a row. They have Gil Dudson, Mark Flanagan and Tyrone McCarthy back in their side. Niall Evalds is at fullback, Siu and Inu the wings, Wellham and Bibby in the centres, Tui Lolohea and Jackson Hastings the half-back partnership. In the forwards, Liam Mossop, the captain, once a Wigan, Logan Tompkins, once a Wigan. Gil Dudson, a former Wigan player as well. That is the front row. George Griffin, Josh Jones and Tyrone McCarthy. And on the bench, Flanagan, Joey Lussick, Adam Walker and Ryan Lannon. And the coach, who has done a sensational job this season, and his job is not finished yet, is Ian Watson. Dare to dream, says the Salford Red Devils supporters banner at that far end of the ground to our left, and it's a really good turnout for the Red Devils to try and cheer them on here tonight against the Wigan Warriors, who finished second in the table. They won 12 of the last 13. Their rise has been mercurial as well. They were 9th after losing at the Magic weekend to Warrington. They have gone up the table to second. Salford have gone up the table to third. Terry, 2 sides, bang on form in a crucial game. It's hard to call.
Yeah, it really is. You look at the transformation this Salford side over the last 12 months, 11th last year, 3rd this year. Outstanding form coming to this game on the back of 8 consecutive Super League wins. And how much will it mean to them to get over this Wigan side? The majority of people and fans have been tipping to get to the grand final. And like you said before, the Salford fans have turned out to support that man and his side. And can they do it? They've been beaten 3 times this year by the Warriors, but it's a different competition, Bill.
Well, Salford have not got a great record on this ground. They've won just once in 21 visits to the DW. You have to go back to May 2017 when they won 31 points to 16. And the Wigan Warriors, very tough to knock off on home soil. Looking for their 10th consecutive home win. The last time they lost at home this season was on Good Friday, when Justin Holbrook and St Helens came here and won by 36 points to 10. Robert Hicks is the referee here tonight. James Child is his video ref. And the Salford fans still coming into the ground. This is an amazing turnout by them. And they, I tell you what, I reckon if there was a noise level award in Super League this season, Salford would probably win that.
Well, they are up for it without a shadow of a doubt. Behind the H's there, all those fans, Salford fans who've travelled, they're definitely supporting their team. It's a big job in front of the Red Devils, but off the back of those 8 wins, looking for the 9th, I think it's all on.
Well, it's Salford preparing to get us underway. Krishnan Inu poised, one of the inspired signings for Salford this season has come into the side in recent weeks, averaging 9 points a game. Inu, will he get a chance tonight to show that point-scoring form? First tackle of the game. And Liam Mossop, once of Wigan, leading the charge, the defensive effort for this Salford side. They will look to rattle Wigan early on here. They can't afford to allow Wigan to settle into their stride.
That's it, Bill. I'd like to unsettle them, get in the faces. They're going to back themselves and just really thrive off the atmosphere. A lot of these players haven't played in a game this big, so it's all there for them. They've got to rise to the occasion, haven't they, and expect the unexpected.
What an opportunity for that young man, Liam Byrne, 20 years of age, and being thrown in this situation by coach Adrian Lamb. It's a big ask for him, replacing the suspended Oliver Partington.
I've been really impressed with him, though. He's a physical player, Liam Byrne. He really does take on the challenges, leads from the front, even though he's 20 years of age. He's one of those quartet of players that is really making a decent name for himself.
He was Thomas Luluai, 34 years of age. He is vast experience in his 21st playoff game at Luluai.
There was a little smile on the face of Jackson Hastings then. I'm sure what's going through his mind is, I'm glad you're going to be on my team the next time I meet you.
There is Jackson Hastings. Now then. Well, a little kick into the middle of the field, and they're still keeping it alive. It's Gil Dudson who gets to the ball first, and Dudson gets the pass away. It's still alive. It's Josh Jones now. Jones out to that far side. Kick ahead by Inu, and it's batted over the dead ball line by Hardacre. Well, that was really quick thinking, improvisation from Salford.
Well, excellent to run the ball on the last play, down over on the right-hand side. It shows you that this game tonight is all about taking the chances, playing what's in front of you. And Salford, well, this is how they need to play the game for the full 80 minutes.
We saw before the game that all the Sentinels have scored more tries than Salford this year, and you've seen a demonstration of that in the first 2 minutes of this game. The skill and the willingness to keep the ball alive, take risks, has made them great to watch and difficult to play against.
So early on we get a goal line dropout, just 2 minutes gone. Here is Gil Dudson, the Welsh international, driving that ball back, but Byrne and co are there to greet him. Sam Powell making the tackle as well. Logan Tompkins, Mossop now. The Salford fans at the other end of the ground in good voice. Logan Tompkins now. Hastings, Josh Jones, real handful this season, Josh Jones. Tompkins, Hastings, on to Tui Lolohea. There is George Griffin. Lolohea, Mossop, little dummy from Lee Mossop, he's still going. Trying to just roll over, but Morgan Smithies was there to deny him. Tompkins gets the pass away. Little kick in from Hastings. The ball is batted down. Oh, and I think it was Bibby who was trying to go for it. Couldn't quite get there, and Robert Hicks had a clear view of that.
Well, Bibby, the man will be playing at the DW next year for the Warriors. Just can't quite get hold of that ball. Well, a lot of space then for Jackson Hastings to kick that ball, and good width for the pass from Logan Tompkins.
This is a good start from Salford. Wigan on the back foot early on.
Well, they're a side that can create space. They've got enough game breakers themselves. I know there's a lot of talk and a lot of focus on the Warriors in this, but you can't write this Salford side off. They've got a number of players that have played for the Warriors that really want to set the record straight.
Well, now it's Hardacre and Wigan, ball in hand. Chris Hankinson in the side tonight because of Dan Sargentson hamstring injury, and could keep Sargentson out for the remainder of the season. Ironically, he's on his way to Salford for the 2020 campaign. That's the first penalty of the game. There's a Salford hand in there.
Well, on the fourth play as well, Sam Powell, he wants to keep going. Liam Farrell put his hand up saying, let's take the 2 points. And they're going for the 2 points.
It looks a soft penalty to give away that, doesn't it? Salford worked so hard in the opening 4 and a bit minutes. Had good field position, had a crack at the line, almost got the first try through Jake Bibby. And Adrian Lamb's side, under pressure, get to now watch Zach Hardacre try and attempt to take the 2. What a job he's done, Ian Watson. It's a close call, isn't it, that player, coach of the year.
So Hardacre just that straight onto the posts. Kicked 89 goals so far this season. And this to get Wigan on the scoreboard, get the scoreboard moving. And in fact, he's dragged it wide.
Well, a little bit like Stefan Ratchford, but he missed, didn't he, early on in that kick yesterday against there. Just pulled it to the left of the post. To the delight of the Salford fans behind the post.
Well, that's the biggest cheer of the night, isn't it? All those Salford fans went up as soon as it struck the boot of Zach Hardaker.
Well, that was unlike Zach Hardaker, but he seemed to just rush that one. It wasn't that smooth as he went to kick it.
Normally deadly, isn't he? And he's a player that wants to get to the grand final, make up for lost time. Missed the one 2 years ago.
Tackled by Logan Tompkins there. Probably only played for 30 minutes. He knows that. That's his route. That's his role. Get on, give it your best for half an hour. Fantastic tackle.
Now Liam Byrne, Tony Club, making his 300th career appearance tonight. Now his Willie Isa has been sensational, as Samoan has for Wigan this season, making his 29th starting appearance in a row is Willie Isa. Now Williams, the man picked out by John Wells ahead of this game as the threat, and he is certainly that. Gildart running, that's also a worry for Salford. Tommy Luluai now, Luluai puts the brakes on, change of direction, back across to this side of the field where Gildart receives, and Gildart tackled by George Griffin. Wallahere there as well. Burgess, and that's the turnover. Strange play.
Really strange play. They were calling for it over on the right-hand side. Liam Marshall had his hand up, saying that, yeah, kick it to me, kick it high, I'll challenge for it. Just seemed like a nothing play and a poor way to end the set.
Now here is George Griffin. Back in the side, Griffin, and Jackson Hastings now. Surely keen to impress his future employers, his future fans here tonight with a stellar performance. Josh Jones, chunky figure. Tompkins, Hastings once more. Here is Jake Bibby. Bibby, Hankinson making the tackle. Krishnan Inu. Hastings gets the kick away. It's a tall one, but Hardaker, eyes on the ball, claims it.
There's no problem for Salford making metres from down near their own try line. Before they got to the kick, they made 47 metres. So it shows how workmanlike they are, and they all get on board. And even now, defensively, they're really tight. They're going to try and force the Warriors to try and play through them, show them the space on the outside. If they want to throw the ball there, they'll maybe try and hunt that error.
McCarthy leading the tackle on Joe Burgess there. Powell, and here is Gildart. Gildart with that really sharp acceleration, but looking for an opportunity to use it. There was nothing there. Halfway line. And it's Powell who thumps the kick down the middle of the field, finds a bit of space, and Niall Evalds comes across to claim it. Ever present, this fullback. He is a great performer.
A good kick there from Wigan. Sam Powell pops out from acting half-back on the fourth tackle. He wants territory. And as you said, Niall Evalds, 27 tries he's scored so far this season. Great work from Salford, coming away from their own line. They are making metres and they are finding it easy, and unusually easy against the Wigan side, to control the ruck speed.
First penalty of the game for the Salford Red Devils. And they're just inside the Wigan half. And here is Josh Jones. Once of St Helens, Josh Jones. Lee Mossop now. Second tackle as Mossop goes to ground. Logan Tompkins and Tyrone McCarthy now. About 15 metres out as Gil Dodson takes the pass. Powell and Byrne stop his progress. Tompkins across the face of McCarthy to Mossop. That's the 5th tackle, and they're right on that Wigan try line. Wigan defending there on the line. Mossop slow to his feet. Tompkins, Lolohea, Wellham couldn't take the pass, and Burgess picks it up off his toes, and Joe Burgess into the middle of the field, still going. Joe Burgess finds a gap and still going deep into Salford territory, didn't have the legs.
Well, that's how dangerous they are. All of a sudden, they can just hunt the mistake, pick up the ball, and Salford now are defending in their own half. What are they, just 25 metres from the line?
So here is Liam Farrell back in the side tonight. The only Wigan player in the recently announced Dream Team, Tommy Luluai. He delayed, and Logan Tompkins got there to make the tackle. The referee will bring him back.
Well, excellent pressure from the inside, from the former Wigan hooker, Logan Tompkins. Look at this. He's not expecting it. Morgan Smithies, he's running through. He's the lead runner. He's looking at going out the back. Chris Wellham makes the mistake. Joe Burgess, all of a sudden, he picks it up. He looks for the space. He has got space in front of him. The speed he's got as well. But a good job from Salford when they're broken to get back, work together to bring him down.
There is actually 4 players in attendance there when that break's made from Joe Burgess. So the appetite for work, the desire to get to where the ball is, where the threat is. 11 minutes. It's an even competition. And they need that, Salford, don't you? You feel if they've got any chance in this game, they've got to stick with Wigan. Great work. Tremendous work from Gil Dudson.
The problem with Sam Powell at the top there, he pulled out of that tackle.
Got a lot of plaudits from his teammates, Gil Dudson. They've done a lot of media this week, Salford.
They've put the ball down. Salford have, and Sam Powell is down on his haunches there. It's that left wrist, by the look of things, that's causing the problem.
When you see a player that's holding on with one hand, well, when he holds on, he's trying to pull him back. He won't get involved with his other arm. He's trying to preserve himself and hope that his teammates will come in and help him. Sam Powell, he was good last week against Cass, 40 tackles he made. Look at him, he goes in to hit Gil Dudson, and all of a sudden he just pulls away.
Is it Smithies? I don't know whether Smithies.
He's looking at his hand, he's looking at his wrist early, isn't he? And he's not a player to pull out of a tackle, Sam Powell.
I don't know whether when he...
Collateral damage, that was, I think.
He holds his left arm out, he's attempting to make that tackle. Smithies comes in and collects a little bit of Gil Dudson, but I think he also collects a bit of Sam Powell there. They're having a look at his wrist. They'll hope that he can stay on the field, so integral to what they do. And Dudson, Mossop, of course, ex-Wiganers, but now right at the front of the trade.
Got the benefit if he does have to leave the field. Bevan French can come on, probably playing the half-backs. George Williams has had a spell of running as a hooker for Wigan in recent games as well. Not starting in that position, but filling that role for a period of it. So there's some versatility with French sitting with the subs.
Tommy Luluai, of course, pretty schooled in that particular department. Here is Liam Farrell. His 22nd playoff appearance, 6 grand finals to his name. That's the sort of pedigree that this Wigan Warriors side brings against the relative newcomers in these heady days of the season, the Salford Red Devils. But they've defied predictions, defied expectations all season, have Salford. Can they continue doing it in the playoffs? Here is Hankinson, one of the few Wigan players actually making his playoff debut, Chris Hankinson. George Williams, Farrell, back across the field to where that play the ball originated. Josh Jones making the tackle. Bit of a tangle there. And Hardacre puts the kick in. It ricochets back to Hardacre, then comes off Hardacre. Referee Robert Hicks blows the whistle, and that'll be the turnover.
Well, the Warriors now will have Salford trapped 10 metres from the line. It's going to be a big test as well there for Sam Powell. He had passed the ball more than any other player in the Wigan Warriors shirt this evening, so he's got to keep on doing it now for the remaining 67 minutes. Can he get through the game?
I don't know if the Salford fans realise how impressive this start's been. Wigan so often at home blow their opponents away in that opening 10 minutes. They're too fast for them, they score points, they get themselves ahead. Salford have gone toe-to-toe with them, they've gone metre for metre, break for break, tackle for tackle, and that's a really positive opening for Ian Watson's team.
Led by Lee Mossop. Now here is George Griffin. That's 4 tackles gone, and they're on their own 40-metre line. Here is Jackson Hastings. Now Dutson once again, up to the halfway line. 5th tackle, and Lola Heyer puts the kick in. Came to Salford with Robert Louis going in the opposite direction, and Lola Heyer has really settled in well. They've got good value out of the former Leeds man. He's making his 11th consecutive appearance. Gildarts.
We're looking at a number of players in this Salford side that Ian Watson's given an opportunity to. They came, they believed in themselves, the coaches believed in Chris Ninu's another one. I think he's been a bargain by Chris Ninu.
Powell still out there. Tony Clubb winds it up and takes on the Salford defenders. They stand their ground. Powell. Williams, lovely step from Williams, but they managed to stop his progress.
Beautiful evasion there. He saw Gil Dutson coming out the corner of his eye.
Tommy Luluai hoists the kick, and Krishnan Inu very nearly bundled into touch, just manages to stay in the field of play. He's a big guy, not quite a big guy, he is a big guy. It takes some moving, and they've shifted Jake Bibby back now in the next tackle. Here is Kensio, fleeing on the floor, and gets the penalty. Great work from the other wingman, Kensio, coming from the other side of the field, and his effort helps them get that penalty.
Well, we've had 15 minutes of attrition, haven't we? Both sides going set for set, trying to make the other one lose concentration. We've seen a couple of penalties. Recall Salford giving away the penalty which allowed Zach Hardaker to attempt 2 points, which he failed to do. But Salford are doing well to stay in this grind, and that will have been their focus throughout the week. Do not give up, stay in and stick with them.
Tyrone McCarthy now. Salford on the back of that penalty. Again, testing this Wigan defence. Here is Gil Dudson, Cardiff-born front rower. Tompkins, Jackson Hastings, McCarthy now, back across the field, but Hardaker makes the tackle. Now Logan Tompkins once more. Here is Lola Heyer. Niall Evalds now, pace from Evalds. Williams with the tackle on him. Wellham's pass. Lola Heyer, little kick in, and Hardaker read that one, saw it coming. And a little nudge with the boots from Logan Tompkins is penalised by referee Robert Hicks.
He just seems to lose his footing, doesn't he, Logan Tompkins? He's going to get talking to from the referee Robert Hicks.
Just a word of warning for Logan Tompkins. Actually appeared for Wigan in the 2013 playoffs against Leeds. Hardaker. His penalty takes Wigan out of their own 20. Now Liam Farrell. Farrell has lost the ball. Referee waves play on. Farrell protesting. The referee has no time for that argument.
Yeah, George Griffin, the man who strips that ball in from Farrell. You get away with it though.
Mossop bumps off the first challenge from Powell.
Both Mossop and Dudson doing a decent look at that steal. Straight in front of the touch.
They got away with that one, and can they capitalise on that big opportunity? Here is George Griffin now. Far end of the ground from their supporters, but they'll be able to hear the noise they're making. There's plenty of that. It could get even louder because they're on the attack here now. Evalds. Bibby trying to get out of the way. The Wigan fans not convinced he did. Here is Hastings. Hastings tries to go solo. Clubb wrestles him to the ground, but they're that close to the Wigan try line. Evalds just manages to get the ball away before the intervention of Luluai. The kick across field, but claimed by Joe Burgess.
Well, Salford, they've had some decent field position ending the sets while they get into the kick. the majority of kicks will come from Lola here, more than Jackson Hastings. It's where they've got to work hard. Don't get bored of defending. Defend with an awful lot of energy and restrict those meters from the Warriors.
Williams ducking under the challenge from Logan Tompkins. There's NRL action, more NRL action coming up tomorrow. 10:45, this one a sudden death game between Melbourne Storm and Parramatta Eels. Sky Sports action for that. Chris Hankinson just inside Salford territory. Luluai with the kick. And Evolds lets that one dribble into touch.
Well, defensive kick from Thomas Luluai. Wasn't going to go for the attacking kick high in the air and then have to defend that next play from Niall Levels, who's got decent leg speed at the back. Very good bringing the ball back, and maybe just Thomas Luluai recognising that coming up to 20 minutes now, that the game's been really quick. It's been end to end. You're wanting a mistake, you're wanting the penalty.
Tell you what, it's not cool out there either. It's been a warm, sunny day in Wigan. It's a mild, still evening.
Perfect. That's what it is. It's dry. And the players, I don't think we saw too much in terms of open rugby league tonight. Hopefully this game will open up.
Liam Byrne.
Told you, he might only be 20, but he is an absolute monster.
I'll tell you, these Wigan youngsters have absolutely no respect for their elders. Oliver Partington suspended, so in comes Liam Byrne with exactly the same approach.
Same attitude. You just have to watch it. It's in the DNA of some of these players.
It's the younger generation.
Well, even the older ones, the likes of Thomas Luluai and Willie Ice, are over on the right-hand side.
Here is Jackson Hastings. Booming kick. Burgess underneath it. Those yellow boots glowing out there on the park.
Watching the movement, the involvement of Jackson Hastings, it's easy if you're a forward, let me tell you, and you're playing with a half-back like that. He's just directing, he's telling you where to go. He wants you to land at certain points for him to get the kick away.
Quarter of the game gone, still 0-0. The winners going through to play St Helens next week. The winners of that on the way to Old Trafford. The losers another chance against the Castleford Tigers next week. Here is Hardacre. 4 tackles gone. Williams puts a little kick in, but the chase not as speedy maybe as he would have hoped.
We'll see Ben Flower onto the field for the Warriors now, and this will be interesting to see what the bench for Salford are like against the really experienced bench that the Warriors have got, in the likes of Flower, Greenwood, O'Loughlin, Bevan French.
It just looks to me as though Salford have hit the wall after 20 minutes. They've gone with everything that they had, the foot full on the accelerator, but they're struggling to go forward. They've gone wide, which is sometimes a danger. If you don't go forward and you go wide, bad sign. The Wigan fans sense that as well.
And they've lost the ball. Chris Naninu lost the ball on the ground.
He disagrees. Willie Isa, formidable defender. We've seen him do this consistently throughout this game and consistently throughout his career. There's pressure on that ball, but you've got to keep hold of it.
Well, Willie Isa's got his hand on it, he pulls it out here. See his hand come out there and just pull it away.
My point is that there's that many that go with you, for you, against you. You just cannot allow anything to nudge that ball, whether it's a tackle or not.
So Salford not getting the rub of the green on that occasion. Here is Farrell now. Just the one scoring opportunity, really. And that was a penalty that Zach Hardacre dragged wide. Here is Ben Flower. Winds himself up to drive that ball in. Powell, Luluai now. Luluai, little short pass. Smithies. Just about 5 metres out. Powell, Luluai. Here is Byrne, already an Irish international at the age of 20. Powell, Luluai, Willie Isa. Good defence from Tyrone McCarthy. Luluai, booming pass from him, and Williams. Gildart will break the ice here. Williams with the pass, and Oliver Gildart's getting his first ever try in a playoff game, and his 12th of this 2019 season, and the Salford defence eventually leaving the gap, and Gildart was able to exploit it, but not before George Williams had presented him with the opportunity.
Well, Chris Ninu makes the mistake. Willie Ice is in there and Hankinson's in there. The ball comes out, the referee says it's a knock-on. It goes over onto the left-hand side. And John Wells spoke about this little play from George Williams. It does attract defenders. And when you've got someone who's got footwork and speed, the likes of Oliver Gildart, you want to get him a one-on-one near the try line. And as soon as you can get him a one-on-one, you can see the little step, and all of a sudden it holds Chris Wellham up. As soon as he plants his feet, he then takes him on the outside, Gildart.
Gildart absolutely burns Wellham there. You can see him flat-footed. He can't grab hold of the Wigan centre, and that golden left edge delivers 4 points, potentially 6. But I'm watching the Salford players. I'm watching where their mind is at. What's their attitude like now? They've gone behind in the scoreboard. What's their self-belief like? So early in this game, will they get back into it?
What's Zach Hardaker's self-belief like? He missed with that early penalty, which was a pretty straightforward. He's landed that conversion, which was anything but. And Wigan are ahead by 6 points to 0. And Oliver Gildart getting his third try in home games here at the DW.
Well, I think passing's an underappreciated skill sometimes, it will be. The ball there from Thomas Luluai to George Williams. The speed, the accuracy, it had an invitation on it to attack and invite and encourage his teammates. Williams took the most of that, but it was the service he provided, getting the ball wide and quickly, giving him the opportunity to do what he does so well. Wonderful pass there, and it's important that Wigan did capitalise, because they were being frustrated by Salford's excellent defence.
No point in Chris Ninu and Salford feeling sorry for themselves after that contentious call that presented Wigan with head and feet at that scrum, which then led to the try.
You just got to get on with it, Bill. You're going to get calls. I think Barry said it last night. You'll get calls that'll go for you and against you.
Them's the breaks. 25 minutes gone. Wigan ahead then by 6 points to 0. The defending champions. Wigan to return to Old Trafford. And that's a penalty. That was a ball steal.
Yeah, and what you can't do is you can't cut corners the next time. It's your chance to defend. Meters too easy for Wigan. There's hands in at the play of the ball. We've seen it from both sides. Chris Ninu, Salford, they might feel that went against them. It probably did. There's no doubt about that. It's right in front of the referee, and you've given your opposition a chance to have another look at your line.
So Salford again on the back foot. Oh, Ben Flower, McCarthy really went for him then. Ben Flower withstood the challenge. Here's Powell, Smithies, Tommy Luluai. Just about 5 metres away from that Salford try line. Wigan looking to ram home the advantage they've just gained with Gildart's trial. O'Loughlin is on the field, just hands it to Ben Flower and says, there you go. And Flower, oh right, and makes some yards. Here is O'Loughlin. Williams, Morgan Smithies now. Mossop and McCarthy doing the tackling, but Smithies still going, eventually brought down again. They're that close to the line. Powell, little kick from Powell, or knock on from Griffin, right under his own post. The pressure is piling up on Salford. You've got players with their hands on their knees. They're really gasping at the moment.
Well, that's why it's important that a modern day hooker can kick the ball close to the line, nothing on, just tries to thread it through behind the defender. George Griffin, he goes down, can't bend his back far enough. As he's reaching down, makes the error. He's one of those players who gets through an awful lot of work, George Griffin, especially in defence.
We're going to stack the right side of the field. Look, there's no winger on this side. Blank over here, and everyone goes to the right. So we'll see which way this is going to go.
With Powell, Luluai now. Here is Willie Isa. Salford retreating once again. Morgan Smithies Here is Sean O'Loughlin. And Ryan Lannon in there, off the bench for Salford as they try and keep Wigan at bay. Smithies now.
How much does he offer himself, Morgan Smith? He's involved in everything, not just carrying the ball, but involved in the playmaking.
Sir Powell, O'Loughlin, Luluai, Williams gets away from Hastings, but the follow-up tackle from Josh Jones restricts his progress. Here is Hardacre now to Luluai, about 10 metres out. O'Loughlin's pass, Hankinson! Oh, wonderful work from Chris Hankinson. The referee says it was forward, and Hankinson.
I think it's Willie Isa.
Obstruction, I beg your pardon.
Yeah, Willie Isa hits the ball up, looking in there. He's just coming through a couple of defenders. He can't get through. He collides with a couple of players, or a couple of players pick Willie Isa out and go into him.
I think that's a tough call, because the ball's passed behind him. He doesn't take it to the line, he doesn't run behind him. I think that's a tough call.
So Salford breathe a massive sigh of relief. It looked as though Chris Hankinson had extended the Warriors' lead. Called back by referee Robert Hicks. Right, grand final not far away now, and if you want information on the big day on October the 12th at Old Trafford, go to superleague.co.uk for all that information. Mark Flanagan. So Salford just taken a bit of a battering in recent minutes. They've conceded that try. They've managed to relieve the pressure. They're back into Wigan territory. Tompkins, Flanagan, Lolohea, Lannon now. Just back in the side, Ryan Lannon, after 2 games out. Evalds. And it's Lolohea who kicks crossfield, and Inu climbing for it, couldn't quite get a hold of it, and it's Marshall who comes up with it. And Krishnan Inu has got a massive height advantage on that side of the field over his opposite number.
He would be the target man, wouldn't he, Krishnan Inu? Seen him score a number of tries, whether it be at Widnes or Catalan. In his time in Super League, player that'll want to get to the grand final. Lost 3 NRL grand finals, Krishnan Inu. A lot of experience, that player. Oh, that look forward.
It was. Referee gets the call.
You know, build strong defence and forces them sort of errors. So Zach Hardacre's running across, he pops the ball up to Liam Farrell, who gets on the outside of Lolohea. But you're forcing them into making those passes, you're forcing them into making those errors. And decent field position for Salford, just 30 metres out.
Half an hour gone. Just the one try in this game, scored by Oliver Gildart, converted by Zach Hardacre. And really, Salford, I don't like being behind, but given what Wigan have done to sides, as Phil was saying, by now many sides have been blown away. So
they've halted that momentum, haven't they? It was the try and possibly the try that was chalked off, that maybe shouldn't have been, but look at where they are now.
Now here is Josh Jones. Top tackle busts in Super League this season. Big Adam Walker, who's rejuvenated his career after his ban. Given another chance by Salford. Hastings bounces off O'Loughlin's challenge, but Liam Farrell is there, and O'Loughlin completes the job. Lolohea. Griffin did well to grab that one before he was grabbed.
I don't think they'll send him a Christmas card from that pass.
They're 10 metres out, just inside in fact. Here's Lolohea, puts a lovely kick in. Oh, it evades everybody. There were 3 Salford players going all in the wrong direction. And Ken Seo couldn't get there in the end.
Another nice kick, wasn't it, from Lolohea? Seo, the ball just bounces the wrong way. You'd like to see Lolohea and Jackson Hastings take the line on more down there. When you go aggressive at the defensive line with line speed, they do halt the defenders, which then creates space out wide. And strong defence like this will certainly lift the spirits.
Farrell.
That's a classic example. You need to bounce the ball to go your way in big matches, rolled away from Salford. But again, they're backing it up here now with some excellent defence.
Burgess with the high-vis boots. Tommy Luluai, here is George Williams. Hankinson denied a try. 40 metres out with Liam Marshall. Marshall preferred tonight. Bevan French on the bench for the Wigan Warriors. Halfway line. Here is Tommy Luluai. Sean O'Loughlin now. You know it's the playoffs. He's had a special playoff haircut, he was telling me. He's not the only one. I can tell you there's 1 or 2 around here who have as well. Niall Evalds is underneath that one.
Dangerous player at the back, Niall Evalds. They have got a decent back three, haven't they? You look at Kensio, the man who's carrying the ball. Chris Ninu, the other winger, who's really strong. Niall Evalds, a lot of speed, decent footwork. We're going to try and do a number on those 3 players early on.
Chris Wellham. It's playoff time in the Betfred Championship as well. Second eliminator, York take on Featherstone. You can see that on Sky Sports Arena tomorrow at 3 o'clock. And then on Sunday evening, 6:30, over in Toronto, Toronto against Sylvain Hules and Toulouse Olympique in the first semi-final. Sky Sports Arena for that. So busy weekend of playoff action, bound to be plenty of drama in those games as well. There's going to be plenty of drama here tonight, you feel. Oh, Hardacre has let that one bounce, and Salford will get the ball back, or will they? They will, head and feet to the Red Devils.
That was a wicked kick, that. It was spiraling in the air. It then started floating as it was coming down. The fullback, Zach Hardacre. Well, look, he runs up, he thinks he's got it, and then all of a sudden he pulls away from it. Brilliant kick from Lola here.
You're right, Terry. I think that's uncatchable. Zach Hardacre got as close as he possibly could to it and was still about 1.5 meters away from it. So injuries plus over before half-time. Here's an opportunity.
Great opportunity for Salford just before the break, if they could get on the scoreboard, maybe even level the scores. Here is Flanagan, another one of the former Wigan contingent. Joey Lussick is out there. Tui Lolohea. Flower gets a hold of him. Here is Adam Walker. And Flower is there to make that tackle as well. Back to back from the Welsh international Ben Flower. Hastings, Josh Jones. Willie Isa brings him down. 4 tackles gone. Wigan defending well. Lussick's pass to Walker. Walker to Jackson Hastings. Hastings onto Lolohea. Out to this side to Wellham. Wellham trying to get the pass away. Does so. The ball back, going backwards still. And it's in the hands of Liam Farrell, and a chance squandered, but the referee...
I think there's a penalty here.
Has brought him back.
I think there's a penalty here for Salford. And then they pull him backwards at right
Tess. You're right. They are knocking on the door. I always think Salford look a better side, a more threatening side with Joey Lussick on.
Whoa! Right, he loses the ball backwards, at which point he then grabs him afterwards. He can't grab him to get to the ball first. That's a foul play penalty. That's the decision.
They're knocking on the door, Salford, aren't they? Just needed that pass, didn't it? There's the penalty. He's not allowed to tackle.
It's pretty obvious, isn't it? He hasn't got the ball. Can't tackle him without the ball.
So what a great opportunity this is, and Griffin stumbles. Salford fans, the far end of the ground, really lifting their side, and Lussick will go for it, and Joey Lussick has got it, has he? Referee Robert Hicks is not convinced. It's going to be down to video ref James Child. No try.
Well, the way that Joey Lussick stood up and celebrated, he believes that he scores this try. Under the sticks, good play. There was a dummy runner who come up strong as though he was going to get the ball. And that created a bit of fear within the Warriors line. It's Walker. Does he get over the line?
Oh, no, that's a white.
That's a shirt, that
Wigan shirt, isn't it?
Yeah,
a shoulder.
It's impossible to see, isn't it?
Well, he's pushing him back. He gets low. He gives himself a chance, doesn't he? Some in the last 9 games, Joey Lussick, but the impact that he has for the Salford side. Tries to get low, tries to to get over that line.
He scored, I think, I'm looking at Ian Proctor, I think he scored 12 tries this year. Majority of them will look like that. Down low, down hard, a metre and a half, 2 metres away.
We looked at 4 different angles there. We had a referendum in this country, the viewers or in the pub or people who pay the interviews tonight.
Why do you have to mention that word?
As the video referee, do you want it or not? I don't know what the view will be here because it's not shown us anything in those 4 angles that I didn't know where the referee said no try about a minute or 2 ago.
Well, it's no try in the field. There's nothing that suggests the ball's got to the line. I know we see the ball go to ground, but there's no view of the line at all.
No, we just want the right call. If you're a Salford fan, you'd be hoping that you get the try. If you're a Wigan fan, you'd be hoping that they haven't. They don't know what the try.
Show you that,
No, it doesn't.
You didn't know, Terry, and that was my point 2 or 3 weeks ago when we debated
that's
this.
just that one, isn't it? That's just that one instance with this here.
You've no idea where that is in relation to the try line.
It's near the try line.
It's near the try line.
Yeah. We don't know which side it is.
Hold on, Tess.
Yeah, we don't know which side it is.
Get a point. It's near the try line. We'll give you a point. Robin Hicks confirmed in his decision. And Joey Lussick so close.
They'll still tackle 3 to 10 metres out. They've got decent attacking shape, left and right.
Ian Watson, Paul Rowley, his new assistants alongside him. Plenty of experience there. Here is Ryan Lannon now. Wigan just trying to maintain their advantage as half-time approaches, and Flanagan. Again, good defence. That's the 5th tackle. Lussick. The pass away, and Griffin it is! George Griffin it is who gets the try just before half-time. They've been battering at that Wigan defence, and Wigan maybe were looking for bigger threats out wide, but it came in the shape of George Griffin, who gets his 4th try of the season, his 2nd try of the season against the Wigan Warriors. Got one on Easter Monday, he's got a crucial one here perhaps.
The shout and the cheer when that try and that ball was put over the white line by the hard-working George Griffin nearly knocked me off my stool. The fans over to our left are right behind this side. Salford Red Devils playing towards those fans in the second half. They'll probably go into the changing room 6-all. Hopefully, for the good of this game, hopefully it'll be a draw. And then playing towards those fans, I can't wait.
A lot of eyes on Josh Jones then. We saw Willie Isa jump the line. We saw Thomas Lulawai jump the line. The decision was made for George Griffin. Just a nice little tip on and over the line.
Inu then to try and level the score as half-time approaches. He's scored an average of 9 points a game since he joined Salford from the Widnes Vikings. He's been a great acquisition, and he's on target again. And Salford's gutsy performance in the first 40 minutes is rewarded.
They've had great field position. 30 of the 75 clear the balls that Salford have had have been within 20 metres of that Wigan try line. That's an unusual amount. It's about what you'd expect over the course of a full game rather than just the first half. And they've eventually turned that field position into points with some intelligence and a little bit of power.
Blimey, they're in good voice tonight. They are a noisy bunch.
Love it, absolutely love it.
Play on. He tried to put his foot over the dead ball line there to carry the kick out of play.
It was either that or it was the widest splits I've ever seen.
You're okay, Willie?
Stretching his groin, the lad. Got away with it anyway. Adam Walker and Salford Red Devils. The Salford Reds are rising, and those fans are getting right behind the side.
Final minute of the first 40, and Lussick puts the kick in. Maybe was hoping to get more distance on that one. He kind of scuffed it, in fact. But it's turned Wigan around.
It's been a good game, hasn't it, this?
It's been a playoff game.
Yeah, this is what you want, and not been disrespectful. Not many people would have thought this. You really look at the form for this Salford side, and they can't be any more confident going into the playoffs.
Here's Williams. They've kept a really good eye on George Williams, but you've got to do that for the full 80 minutes. All it takes is just the slightest gap, the slightest opportunity. Smithies, O'Loughlin, Luluai brought down by Jackson Hastings. Final action of the first 40 minutes, and Ian Watson and his coaching staff, Paul Rowley among them, will be delighted with the way their side have really shown up here tonight. Wigan have never at any stage, I reckon, in the first 40 minutes have bossed proceedings. They got their noses in front. They almost extended it, that obstruction, no try, denying Hankinson. And maybe Wigan would have gone on to capitalise on that, but Salford steadied the ship, and they have come roaring back. George Griffin's try, Inu's conversion, and Salford, as they have done all season, showing no respect for their olders and betters. They are in the hunt for Old Trafford.
Tomorrow we'll bring you Premier League action from St James's Park. Brighton the visitors, 5 p.m. Sky Sports Premier League. Super Sunday's double header starts with West Ham taking on Man United. 1 o'clock for that. At 4 o'clock it's Chelsea-Liverpool. And we've got Sky Bet Championship action for you as well. Top of the table, Leeds host Derby. 12 p.m. start tomorrow for that one. And on Sunday, Huddersfield will be hoping for their first win of the season as they take on West Brom. 11:30 a.m. Both of those on Sky Sports Football. We're at half-time here at the DW Stadium in the Betfred Super League playoffs, and they're both locked up at 6 points apiece. They finished second and third in the table. The winner today will go on and play St Helens in Week 2. The loser will play the Castleford Tigers in an elimination semi-final. Well, plenty of first half action. We'll take you into the change rooms here at the DW Stadium. Adrian Lamb addressing his players. Justin Holbrook of St Helens, my guest here. What would the messages be from Adrian Lamb to his players at half-time here?
Oh, look, I think they'd still be pretty confident. I think they've played well in most parts of the half, but I guess the worrying sign for them is it is 6-6, and they would have felt pretty confident after 20-25 minutes. So, look, I think he'd be saying, stay clear, stay calm and relaxed, but, in the end, Salford have done really well to level the score.
They have, and only their second ever playoff appearance 13 years after their first. Ian Watson is addressing a group of players who have for the first 40 minutes shown they have got what it takes to breach the Wigan Warriors line.
Absolutely, and it was a really important try they come up with. I think their last plays, they've looked really dangerous, nearly scoring a number of times off their kicks, but now they've got over the line, they're on a level playing field. Their confidence will be sky high, and the longer the game goes in that situation, they're going to be better for it.
Well, they haven't got long with their players at half-time. Nobody will know that better than yourself. We haven't got long at half-time either. Let's take you through that first half action. And it started with Salford very early on knocking on the Wigan door.
Absolutely, only a couple of minutes in, and the talent of Kristen Inu, it's hard to do, run fast and kick soft, but he did that really well. And then Jackson Hastings, that very near close call there for Bibby. So, as I said, the kicks nearly got tries. Unfortunately, Zach missed with his early kick.
Now, we featured George Williams pre-game. This is what he does best. Gildart standing up well and then.
Absolutely. Their left edge is potent, whether you're hitting Farrell, Gildart, or out to George or Burgess, or George Williams runs himself.
Now, thoughts on this disallowed try?
Yeah, it's tough. I think Jackson Hastings could have kept running there. His own player pushes him and then he falls over. So I'm not a big fan of those type of defensive decisions.
Okay, Wigan Warriors weren't able to capitalise. Salford came back again with a kick, almost crossing with Ken Seo. Joey Lussock held up, given as no try by the referee. Video referee couldn't find evidence to overturn that. 50 seconds afterwards, the crucial score for Salford.
Yeah, and as I said, really important and a great take by George Griffin. That pass was thrown hard by Joey Lussock, and that's what deceived the Wigan defenders to leave him. But a very important try for them in context of the game.
Absolutely. Well, let's take you down to the touchscreen where John Wells will give us his moment of that first half. John.
Well, I think the first 40 minutes is a real illustration of just why the Salford Red Devils are on the winning streak they are. I think they've been exceptional in that first 40 minutes. But the moment of the half is a couple of wonderful pieces of footwork, but also some great playing, setting up and exposing that right edge of the Salford Red Devils defence. And we picked up a play before, and the reason they do this, they're opening up the field, and you can already see here George Williams has made the first call for the ball. That's relayed to Tommy Luluwai. It's a two-pass shift, and it's done really quickly. The effect that has on a defensive line, well, I think when he gets to this point here, it means you're going to have to be a very brave right-hand defensive unit to try and take any more meters than they already have. It kind of sits them on their heels a little bit. It also gives George Williams time to have a look at the defensive line. Now, this is where he's so good. The skip, and he's able to engage the next defender over. But it's the man over here, Chris Wellham, that I want you to look at. Keep a look at Chris Wellham's head, because he loses his opposition centre, which is not something you want to do when you're facing up against Oliver Gildart. Have a look at this. So Williams goes across, and he's engaged. Now, he's not engaged physically, Chris Wellham, but his movement has engaged Chris Wellham, and Chris Wellham has now lost his man, the man he needs to be looking after on the outside here. As the play goes through, look, this is the second wonderful piece of footwork. That's great from a standing start. We know how good Oliver Gildart is. Just to pick it up from behind the sticks, we'll pick it up on the try play. That two-pass shift, that takes away the line speed, gives that man time to skip. And what a beautiful ball and beautiful finish by Oliver Gildart. One final point, Brian. Two men on that Salford Red Devils side we've not heard an awful lot of in this first half. Jackson Hastings and Niall Evalds. If those two click and those two start to work together, particularly with Joey Lussick on the field, then there could be a massive upset on the cards, because Salford are banging this.
It will be a remarkable night in the Betfred Super League playoffs, no doubt about that. Close at, locked up at half-time. They've had 2 points, 8 points and 4 points between them in their meetings earlier this year. All three of them went the way of the Wigan Warriors. I would imagine Adrian Lamb is emphasising we can win this game in the last 5 minutes. We don't have to win it in the next 5 minutes of the first half. That's from playoff experience. That may tell in the end.
Yeah, I'm not too sure, but I think Wigan needed half-time, because I think after Salford got that try, all of a sudden they raised their level, they raised their self-belief, and I think half-time probably suits Wigan. But yeah, I mean, I think Salford, as we said, they've won 8 games in a row for a reason, and they're going to keep coming. So
you went with Wigan as a pre-match prediction. Are you sticking with that one?
Yeah, I am. You know, I just think, I thought they created some opportunities, but gee, Salford, mate, they keep coming, and they've probably been unlucky. When you look at chances, they've probably been unlucky.
They absolutely have, and they take nothing for granted in the Betfred Super League. Anything could happen in the next 40 minutes. Bill and the boys will be standing by the other side of this break to take you through the action from the DW Stadium. We're locked up at 6 points apiece between the Wigan Warriors, the reigning champions, and Salford in their second ever playoff appearance. What can Ian Watson's men do in this second 40 minutes to spring a shock? Find out after this.
This is the best feeling I've ever had in my rugby league career. I feel so proud. Take us back up the Super League where we belong. We put London Broncos back in the top flight. Mate, the best feeling ever.
And it's not just the Super League Grand Final to look forward to, it is that £1 million game on October the 5th, and these four are in contention. York against Featherstone on Sky Sports Arena tomorrow at 3 o'clock, and Toronto against Toulouse 6:30 on Sunday evening for that one on Sky Sports Arena. Well, that's going to be some game, the £1 million game. Doesn't Chris Thorman look youthful? Wigan Warriors 6, Salford Red Devils 6. The scoreline at half-time in this game to decide who will go to St Helens to fight for a place in the grand final, who will host the Castleford Tigers in another chance game. Anybody's call at the moment. Salford have not been overawed in this situation, despite being the novices in the playoff scenario, up against the champions, the side who've appeared in so many of these situations. They boast the most playoff appearances of any side in Super League to the Wigan Warriors. but at the moment, Salford are giving as good as they're getting. Hardacre gets us underway in the second half. What can we expect?
The more this game goes on, Bill, the more that I think that Wigan will try and push the game and try and be a bit more physical, playing on the edge, maybe giving penalties away. This Salford side are building in belief. You look at the first half, they had 4 try-scoring opportunities. Yeah, they didn't get it, but they were at the right end, and they defended heroically as well.
What will be interesting, if Salford Red Devils can get the first points and a try facing those fans, the doubt starts going into the minds of those Wigan players, knowing they've got that extra life. Well, that's a great game, and I look forward to that if and when it happens.
Josh Jones, so difficult to stop. Bulky, chunky figure. Here is Mark Flanagan now. Adam Walker, I beg your pardon. Just inside Wigan territories. Walker plays the ball. Lussick denied a try in the closing minutes of the first half. Tui Lolohea hoists that kick. Burgess is underneath it and takes the tackle.
2 different contrasting strategies with the coaches in that first half. Salford choose to use all 17 players who've got changed this match. Wigan have still got Joe Greenwood, Bevan French, who've got clean shorts. They're still sat on the subs bench. At what point and when or if Adrian Lyman chooses to introduce them, but Bevan French would surely be a threat if he came on in the final 20 with his pace.
Marshall is brought down, Hastings making the initial impact, Jones there to assist. Here is Zach Hardacre now. Hardacre, impressive figure for the Wigan Warriors this season. Now O'Loughlin. Morgan Smithies, the youngster from Halifax, just 18 years of age, but not overawed by this situation. Williams puts the kick in. Oh, Eccles nonchalantly flicks it back towards his own try line.
So the first 2 sets in this second half, you had Salford that got over the halfway line. You had Wigan that only made 23 metres and had to kick longer. Apart from that Niall Valls, if that was a clean catch, that would have been a decent couple of sets.
Early minutes of the second half. Let's go down to the sidelines, get the half-time news from Fraser Dainton.
Well, Adrian Lamb is pretty happy with the way things have gone for Wigan so far. He realises it's very much an arm wrestle of a game, but he wants them to tidy up in the ruck and improve their completion rates in particular. Spend more time in their end, and hopefully the chances will come. As for Ian Watson, well, he says he needs them to tidy it up at the last play of the ball in particular. They need a little bit more composure, and in particular, he wants Salford to ask more questions of Wigan's middle rather than playing the ball down to the edges more.
You can see the Bevan French behind the play of the ball. He's on straight away. Seen enough to put himself in and around the action. He's going to run on the wing. In fact, he's going out to stand out wide. He's one of those players who probably won't label with a position, just say get active, get involved, make a difference.
Didn't make the playoffs in his NRL career. Bevan French has an opportunity now with the Wigan Warriors. Sean O'Loughlin.
There's a lot of ball movement in there. You can see both sides passing on to players in better positions.
Tommy Luluai now. Luluai. That's the 5th tackle. The ball with Williams. Williams stretching for it. Then hoists the kick. It's Ken Seo underneath this one. Claims that one under no great pressure.
Great technique as well when he went up and got that ball. Was prepared to leap higher than any Wigan player. It's Chris Wellham. Now tries to beat a couple of defenders. He's met with a cherry and white wall. He's got to keep the composure here now. Salford, I'm sure a lot of talk would have been about expect to be hit really hard in the opening 10 minutes. Just got to make sure that we get through our sets, don't make mistakes. Chris Ninu on the ball, getting offload to Josh Jones. Said before, but what a year he's had. Fourth best for metres in Super League. 3rd carries, most tackle busts in quality year.
Bevan French with the tackle on Wellham. Salford running rings round themselves at the moment.
But don't just offload and keep offloading for the sake of offloading. You've got to offload with a purpose.
So Hastings, his turn to kick, and Marshall's turn to get underneath it, and he does well.
Well, press from Jet Bibby as soon as Marshall got that ball. Again, the attitude in defence, they're working hard, they're numbering up. They're getting the numbers and the distance are right around the ruck area.
And here is Bevan French. Flower. Salford's defence keeping good shape until Flower gets through, but he loses the ball. It's picked up by Kensio. Mistake from Flower.
Yeah, well, strong defence. He tried to make a hole because he couldn't see one.
Oh, and then Griffin loses it. Wigan have it back.
They get the ball back, but I don't think Bevan French, I don't think his instructions were skirt across and find a forward to pass to. They want him to run. Committed defence from the Warriors, gets the ball back. And a couple of early mistakes by both sides.
Marshall. There's Jerry Lussick down low to make the tackle. Now O'Loughlin. On to Flower. Opening minutes of this second half, the two sides just testing each other out. Here is Bevan French. French, who's got him really intense, exhilarating pace. And Salford will be aware of that, but so is this guy. Gildart, try scorer this evening. Only try so far for Wigan. 6 points apiece here. Farrell. O'Loughlin via Luluai. Williams with a little kick into the corner. Inu goes back. Thought for a moment, then decided against. Here is Hastings, and Hastings sets off, and Hastings finds a gap. He's got Hardacre ahead of him, and Hardacre makes the tackle.
It just opened up for him, didn't it, behind the ruck, then Jackson Hastings.
Eveldt was on his shoulder. If you'd have only looked to the right, the fullback was tracking up the middle channel, hoping for a pass or an offload.
Here is Chris Wellham. 4 tackles gone for Salford this set. They're on the Wigan 40-metre line. Here is Kensio now, 28 years of age, but this is the first ever playoff game he's played in either the Super League or NRL. Hastings picks his spot for the kick. It's Marshall's corner, and Marshall is there to take it under no great pressure until Josh Jones gets there.
Again, doesn't put pressure on himself as Wigan look to shift it.
And Burgess gets away from the first tackle, but brought down the second attempt by Lolohea.
That's showing the respect for what the middlemen for Salford are doing. The likes of Farrell and his teammates can't make holes up the middle. They're looking to generate space and look for that space on the outside. Again, it speeds the Gildart that's looking to try and get across the defensive line and pull something out.
They're just probing, aren't they? The Wigan speedsters. They're just probing and looking, and French might have found it. French couldn't get away. It was Lolohea who just managed to tackle him. I think Lannon might have just got a touch as well, so Luluai puts the kick in, and Eveldt traps it neatly.
Well, he's probably the last person that you want as a defender, Bevan French. Been around the middle of the field. With George Williams, looks like he's playing in the hooking role, defending in the middle as well. Still lucky, Adrian Lamb, that he's got the likes of Sean O'Loughlin, Thomas Luluai on the field that can play like half-backs if George Williams is behind to play the ball. But as a Salford defender, you don't want Bevan French getting the ball in the middle third of the field.
What to do with Bevan French? He's taking on. He's a penalty. They get a chance to do that. Wigan offside. Bevan French probably isn't the best defender in the Wigan side, and they need to make sure he gets heavily involved in contact.
No, you're back down. You've done it. Go back to where the mark is.
Robert Hicks just suggesting that Jackson Hastings takes that penalty from somewhere near where it was awarded. And attacking the end of the ground at the DW Stadium, where there's a huge number of Salford Red Devils supporters urging their side on, an opportunity to take the lead in this game. The winners can plan for a trip to St Helens, and who knows, a trip to Old Trafford after that. For the losers, there is another chance, home against the Cassava Tigers next week. Lussick. Here is Flanagan. Flanagan on to Jackson Hastings. Hastings to Josh Jones. Wrapped up in the tackle. Smith is down low. Williams up top. Lussick just hesitant. Caught in two minds maybe then, the hooker. So it's Flanagan's pass. Hastings on to Lolohea. Here is Eveldt. Eveldt! Oh, the pass was just touched. It was destined for Kensio. And Burgess just got fingertips to it.
Well, there's some panic, isn't there? When Eveldt comes across the back, he's trying to get that 2-on-1. He's got decent speed.
Can we just confirm that, please?
He touches that, doesn't he, Joe Burgess? Did he get the head and feet?
He's asked the video referee to check it. He's given Wigan head and feet to start with, but asked for a check from the video referee, which I'm sure he'll overturn.
Well, and I tell you what, it's a fantastic demonstration of this side. Oh, they're disappointed, but they're going to get another opportunity if they're patient. Because Salford's willingness to take Wigan on for skill and speed, backing themselves, trying to go around this Wigan backline to find the way over the line. Tries are going to be hard to come by. It's the playoffs. It should be hard to score tonight.
Salford, great try-scoring record in Super League. 137 tries they've scored in 29 rounds. More than the Wigan Warriors. Can they get another one here? Here is Niall Levels, but that was firm defence from Willie Isa and Tommy Luluwai. Here is Hastings now. Josh Jones winds up again. Now Lussick short ball, Walker charging onto it. Walker runs into the embrace of Willie Isa. So Lussick sweeps the pass away to Hastings. Hastings, Lollahea, is Evans again. This time it might work. It does. It's Kenny CO. Has he got that ball down? Referee Robert Hicks not convinced. He thinks it's a try. He needs James Child to confirm that belief. They tried it a few moments ago and Burgess got fingertips to it. They couldn't get near them this time, but did Ken Seo run out of room?
It's the same player, the same players. He does everything he can to keep that ball high. Oh, his knee is just on the line. He does everything he can, doesn't he? A good grip on the ball, holds it out in front of him, but wonderful defence from Oliver Gildart. He's scored one, he's saved one. What a quality centre Oliver Gildart is.
Look, if he didn't have that work ethic, Gildart, that's a try. Yeah, he's got brilliant footwork. That's another part of his game that he's developed over the years. His willingness to work in defence and save the try.
James Child confirms that. No try, another one chalked off tonight. Ken Seo so close to putting Salford ahead for the first time tonight. But just denied room. But Salford really are, they are not overawed by this situation.
No, you've got to own those big moments in games, and I think both sides are doing that. Ken Seo looks up at the big screen, sees that the effort from Gildart stops it. There's some real hard challenges here.
This is an immense game. It's an immense game, I think. It's getting better. Is it getting better? Is it my imagination?
I'm getting excited, Bill. So you're having a good time, which means that everyone's having a good time.
And that's all that matters, Bill, that you're having a good time. I've thoroughly enjoyed the 50 minutes we've had so far. They've had a couple of chances. They haven't been overawed, they haven't been intimidated, they haven't completely changed how they've played during the season in 2019. It's about being the best player that you can be, doing your job to the best of your ability, not necessarily trying different things unless it's absolutely necessary.
But they've got to hold their nerve and keep their concentration in defence as well, because Wigan have so much experience in this scenario. Morgan Smithers, they've got their own youngsters who are not overawed by this situation. Smithers is one of them. Luluwai's pass. Here is Bevan French, and French is just looking for that gap. And it's going to come any moment, but it might come for Williams now. Williams for Luluwai. Luluwai for Bevan French. French just walking off. Dummy from French. He is trying everything.
Cheeky. Very cheeky.
Williams, Luluwai, here is Sean O'Loughlin. You won't get any of that nonsense from O'Loughlin. And that's the last play of that set. That'll be the turnover. Good defence from Salford in the end.
It had to be, didn't it? Excellent work. Bevan French looks the ideal touch rugby player, doesn't he? He's confident enough to stop and walk at times, controls the pace of the game, speeds it up when it suits him. And Salford need a focus. You know, the Reds have been in this situation twice before with Wigan. The first two occasions they met them.
It's a try. Luluwai has got the try. Chris Naninu just trying to get out of trouble, flung that ball back, and the first man to react was Tommy Luluai.
I said, Bill, you don't come up with pointless offloads if you're not going to give the ball to a man in a better position than you. There was panic setting from Chris Nenu because he's been driven backwards. You've got Willie Isa downstairs, you've got George Williams that comes up top. Look at him, he's looking for a teammate. That teammate's there, but he can't take the ball, Jake Bibby. It goes above his head, and then Thomas Luluai pushes it up.
This is a try.
Yeah.
This is a panic try from Salford. When there's no consequence on that offload, it's passed and it's caught and there's no damage done. But because of the magnitude of this game, the stage of the game that we're at, there's a little bit of panic, apprehension. Great work from Willie Isa initially, who comes out of the line. Oh, now then. That angle tells a slightly different story, doesn't it, Stuart?
No, I think there's enough on the ball when he gets it down there. You know, he just has to keep a fingertip on it as he's taking the ball down. You know, that's fine. Yeah. That's a try.
But I want to pay tribute to Willie Isa, who does it all match, every game he plays. Good line speed, good control and contact, and he drove the player back, which forced that offload. And Thomas Luluai pouncing on that opportunity in the first time, really, tonight. Salford have panicked and felt maybe the pressure. And Tommy Luluai, who broke the deadlock in last year's playoff semi-final against the Castleford Tigers, puts the Wigan Warriors back in front here at the DW tonight.
Well, they just don't need to panic. Salford, they're in a position, they're going set for second, and Adrian Lamb knows that they're in a contest here. That panic offload from Chris Ninu opened up for a simple play from Thomas Luluai.
So, Hardacre to extend Wigan's lead, and amazing to think that just a few moments ago it could have been Salford taking the lead.
Well, they're at one end of the field, Kinsale goes in, but they just about prevent a try. At the other end, it's the selfish jump button that they hit here, trying to keep the ball alive. He's in Chris Ninu's game, he's played it all his time, he'll keep the ball alive, he'll take a risk, but it hasn't come off. You know, the Reds have played against Wigan in round 7 and in round 12 on both occasions. Late in the second half, the contest was close, they were in the fight. They faded away and Wigan were too strong for them at the very end. Have the Salford side strengthened, improved and learnt anything by the time we get to the playoffs here. This is the test from now, the ultimate test.
It is the offload game from Salford that's really testing Wigan in defence. And here's a stat for you. 8 offloads so far from Salford and only 1 from Wigan.
Wigan now looking to really ram home the advantage. Oh, that's good defence on Willie Isa from Jake Bibby, and that ball's been lost. And that great work from Jake Bibby. It's not often Willie Isa is sat on his backside like that.
And nearly always there's a consequence to it as well. There's some retribution coming from somewhere with Willie Isa. We've talked about Jackson Hastings, and he's going to join the club, of course he is. But nobody's mentioned really Jake Whibbett. The progress he's made in his career has been recognised. He's been taken across to Wigan. Who was that?
Jake Bibby.
Yeah.
Here is Ryan Lannon now. And Salford get the ball back. Griffin, the Salford try scorer. Joey Lussick. Here is Lollahea, Chris Wellham.
Zach Hardock involved in that tackle. He's not your traditional fullback. He shot up there, throws down the play. He's very much involved here now. The side of a candy made a place.
Ryan Lannon, who's played with Hull Kingston Rovers on loan this season. Now then, Lussick. Here is Lollahea. Little kick for Wellham to chase, but Burgess is back there to sweep that ball up.
He's got a bag of tricks, hasn't he, Lollahea? Just keeps mixing that kicking game up, keeps Wigan guessing. Now the battle of Burgess is ready to pounce.
It's Bevan French now. Still plenty of time to go in this game. Can Salford come back again?
It's a big 10 minutes now for Salford. They don't want it to go to the last 15, 10 minutes at Wigan here to get the ball into break.
Burgess is away on the left. Burgess is on his own. He's got support from Williams, and Williams will extend Wigan's lead. Williams starting it, Williams finishing it. And the man that Salford knew they were going to have to contain has cut loose there. And George Williams on hand after Joe Burgess had steamed down that left edge. And it's Williams with his 15th try of the season, a player who's been ever present for the Wigan Warriors.
Well, that's Wigan for you, isn't it? A try from nothing. It looks like a loose pass. It bounces on the floor. He's unable to get hold of it, Joe Greenwood. But from that point on, Joe Burgess, he takes the outside. He hugs the touchline. He tries to engage with the winger, draw the fullback. He knows and trusts that his teammate is going to be there. He has to keep calm and composed. He does, checks his step, and a beautiful pass to the standoff. 2 tries.
Got a good all-round game, hasn't he? The fans, well, they're now starting to believe that they're going to be going to play against Saints in a confident mood, and the Salford side haven't given it up, but not only can he support, he can create. Done a decent job defending in the middle of the field as well, George Williams.
Never mind, they've not given it up. Cast your mind back to what Salford did when they came from behind at St Helens earlier this season. It was remarkable. I think it was about a 16-point lead that the Saints had. Salford surged back with try after try. They've still got it in them. Become a dangerous team here now with nothing to lose.
Hardaker is on target again. After that false start with the penalty, he's hit the mark.
Well, we've talked about George Williams' ability to run past tackle and kick. I think sometimes we're meant to forget how good a support player he is. If you look back over the course of the season, some of the tries that Wigan have scored, he's been very much played the most important role, that support player. When the break's been made, he's been there in position to take advantage and turn it into points.
To go short here if you're Salford. There's still 22 minutes to go, but they do need the ball.
No, Inu goes into the corner. So Salford trailing by 18 points to 6 now.
Well, they just need the ball in decent field position, and if I'm honest, nearly 60 minutes gone, an hour in this game, I'd like to see Jackson Hastings run more with the ball. He's run more with the ball than any other player in Super League. Like I said earlier on, he does get you nervous if you're defending. He's the act creative, creates the space for people around him.
Coming up to the hour mark, so nearly time to choose the man of the match, and you can have your say by using the Our League app. A panel of rugby league legends will be drawing up a 4-player shortlist, and voting will go live from the 70-minute mark. So if you want to be part of the process, then get to that Our League app. Get your vote in when it goes live. 70-minute mark. Gosh, I mean, hard one to pick this is, because there have been so many big performances.
Salford have performed well as a team, and George Williams in those crucial, vital involvements has stepped forward. Obviously, he's right at the front of your mind because he's just scored that try, but he's done it consistently. You think back to the first half, the way he skipped across and set Oliver Gildart up. But of course, we don't pick it, but he'd get my vote.
Penalty goes Salford's way, and Hastings from just inside his own half gives that a good boost. That's a fantastic kick.
Well, this is where they get the penalty, and that's what it's been awarded. But look at the metres that he gains from that. This is where they need to be now.
Josh Jones, Willie Isa with the tackle, making his 29th start in a row. Willie Isa is ever present all season. That's good defence again from Wigan as Lee Mossop returns to the fray. The Salford captain, Lussick. Here is Hastings now. Hastings, trying to get away. He has got away. You wanted action from Hastings. You've got it. Jackson Hastings with the try. Doesn't like the challenge from Tony Clubb, but he doesn't need to worry about that. He has brought Salford back into the game. Jackson Hastings comes alive. Gets the try, kick to come, right in front of those Salford fans, and that's what they wanted to see. And
And that's what he gives you. He's a magician when he's got the ball, when he's fixing defenders, but also when he goes at the line, it causes problems.
Could this be an 8-point try? That's maybe what he's asking here. There is a foul play after he scored.
No, he was happy with the contact. He was just concerned about people coming back in.
Well, Jackson Hastings just get into the line. Well, the penalty that leads to that field position, it was a booming kick. They gained 30 valuable metres. Jackson Hastings was the one who said, yep, I'll go for distance, we'll get up the field. If you can get me up the field, I'll come up with the plays. And look at the footwork, the strength. He's one of those halfbacks, no matter how big you are in front of you, he's going to take it on. Like I said, going deep and hard and aggressive at the line. He's going to come up with some points. And they are well and truly back in this game. 18 minutes to go. Wow, we've got to finish.
The more you look at that, the worse the elbow looks. Here, the kick goes over. There's 2 points from in front. But
well, I don't think the referee's seen the elbow. I think he's been looking at the timing of the tackle. Certainly with the conversation he had with the captain. That's what he was talking about.
Tony Clubb, it was on the follow-up, who just clipped Jackson Hastings as he was touching that ball down.
Move, Tony, get square, hold. Hold now. Hold.
Doesn't miss, does it? Well, that sparked the game back up, hasn't it? There was a danger that Wigan would take control for the last quarter.
Well, they've got the starting props back on now, Salford. And Mossop and Dudson. So they've got some firepower along with this man out over on the left-hand side. Josh Jones.
Inu converted that try. 18-12 it is. Into the final quarter of the game. It doesn't take a lot to get Jackson Hastings dander up, does it? Really?
Oh, he's a competitor, isn't he? That's certainly what he is.
Well, he'll be able to discuss that with Tony Clubb next season when they get together for pre-season training. The kick into the arms of Hardacre.
And if you're a Salford player as well, you're going to be wanting to play to all your fans. You're going to want to spend as much time near Wigan's line as you can, because they will thrive. The players will thrive off the energy that the fans seem to be generating over there. Listen to them. They're certainly enjoying it.
Here is Oliver Gildart, try scorer tonight for the Wigan Warriors, whose lead 18-12, but they're not home and dry yet. And heading for St Helens to see who can get through to Old Trafford. The kick from Bevan French, and Evolds lets it go. Did that hit touch?
It looked like it touched the sideline,
didn't it? It touched the line.
Yeah, he's give it.
Thought for a second that they might get 7 tackles. Salford Red Devils. But he was happy to let that go, wasn't he, Niall Evolds? Form the scrum. It's almost your default, you reset. Bevan French playing a more central role. Let's not forget, in the try that George Williams scores, it's a bit of a loose offload, but Bevan French getting involved, making himself a nuisance.
Oh, Wigan putting the shove on, and Salford have knocked it on.
Wow, that's a bad mistake, isn't it?
let's compliment good thinking.
They're using their experience to force and push.
Compete at every play, every chance you've got to put your opponents under pressure, do it. And Wigan do that. They push hard, and drop the ball at the back of the scrum. It's a massive moment.
So Wigan's head and feed, frustration on the faces of the Salford players, Lee Mossop in particular, angry that they were caught napping like that, and they could pay a price here. This is George Williams territory. Here's Joe Greenwood.
It's also drop goal territory if you're interested, I suppose.
Luluai, Sean O'Loughlin. Luluai, drive from Tony Clubb that runs straight into Flanagan and Evolds with the tackle. O'Loughlin away to Williams. Williams then changes direction back to Liam Farrell. Farrell then back the other way, probing Wigan, testing this Salford defence. And Salford eventually stopped Farrell's progress. It's back to O'Loughlin. O'Loughlin's short ball, and Clubb will stretch out, and then he'll be driven back.
Good defence over the top from the full-back Evolds.
That's the fifth tackle. Luluai's pass away. Oh, and couldn't quite get there for Greenwood. The pass just up above his head.
Oh, he goes for the crash ball, doesn't he, Joe Greenwood? Tries to get between two Salford players, can't take the ball. And Salford now just desperate for the quick play of the ball.
Looking a bit weary. And there's a knock-on from Salford. Welham protests.
You've got to focus, you've got to concentrate. Yeah, it's been a tough old game. And the Wigan
didn't
players,
like that.
no, just into Chris Welham, just rubbing him on the head. It's one of those plays, I don't like it.
Well, the referee's awarded a penalty for that.
Well done, referee.
Yeah, there you go. That's how you stop that in the game.
Well done, Robert Hicks.
Yeah, well done, Robert Hicks. That's crept into the game. Yeah, I'm all for maybe sledging now and again and getting into your opponent and trying to knock them off. But when you make a mistake, you just rub them on the head like that.
You never did that.
Not rub them on the head. You might have said a few things.
A lot of things.
Sam Powell with his arm in a sling. He will not be coming back. Will he be fit for the Wigan Warriors' next assignment? That's the concern for them. So the penalty letting Salford off the hook. Going back to that scrum where they were shoved off their own ball, it looked as though they really had dropped themselves in the mire, but the penalty.
Bill, and that's just a little reminder. Look, lads, we've got to concentrate here.
And Hastings. Lollahea now. Here is Bibby heading for the sidelines. Inu. Josh Jones now. Here is Tyrone McCarthy. Played in a grand final in Australia. The Queensland Cup grand final it was with Northern Pride. Josh Jones, nice footwork from the big man. He really is deceptive. Oh, gets the pass away. Lussick couldn't take it. The referee's wave play on. Eccles with the kick, and it's collected by Marshall. And Marshall, has he got the pace? No, it's Hastings making the tackle.
Well, good work from Jackson Hastings to get back. Oh, Lee Mossop's gone hunting. Oh, they're all looking for that big shot now, aren't they?
It's action all over, isn't it? I agree. I thought there was a knock-on when the ball was offloaded by Josh Jones. A bit of rugby league justice there. Wigan end up with the ball. Salford Red Devils in defence.
Look how tight Salford are defending. Oh, they're getting carried away. It's like a frenzied attack. Caught on the wrong side of the ruck, Chris Ninu. Has a little tug of the leg. But Lee Mossop flies in. He was looking for a shot. Jackson Hastings was flying in, looking for a shot. And then all of a sudden, they're all off the line.
If you go back to the time, though, when Salford were attacking Wigan's line, I'm sure Thomas Luluai was 2 or 3 metres offside and very lucky not to get penalised.
Tensions rising. Just under 12 minutes to go. Wigan ahead by 18 points to 12. At the moment, they are heading for St Helens next week. Here is Hardacre. O'Loughlin. Puff with the cheeks almost from O'Loughlin.
Cheers.
Here we go.
Cheers. Thanks for that.
Such a servant to this Wigan club. And here's the next generation. Morgan Smithies, maybe his heir, you don't know. 18 years of age. Williams, Luluai, little shimmy from him. Oh, French's pass and Farrell couldn't take it. And as long as Wigan are coming up with moments like that, Salford are going to stay in the hunt.
Well, Salford will take that. There he is, Jackson Hastings on the ball. The more that they run it, the more that they've got a chance. Play that unpredictable brand of rugby that we've seen this year from Salford.
Golden Point it was for Salford in their last Super League game. What about Golden Point? 2 weeks running for the Red Devils. Still time in this one. Here is Josh Jones.
He must be up there with the man of the match candidates, Josh Jones. Worked tirelessly for his side over on this left side.
Hastings, he's like George Williams, always looking. His eyes scanning as he approaches the defensive line. None of that for Gil Dudson. Bash! Here is Lussick. Lollahea now. Lollahea's little kick. It ricochets and it's batted over the dead ball line by Liam Farrell with Eccles on his shoulder.
He was chasing hard the fullback, wasn't he? We saw last week when they scored against Hull. It was a ricocheted kick from Lollahea.
the Salford Reds are the best team in Super League at converting goal line dropouts into tries. If ever there was a time to do it, this is it now. 6 plays, less than 10 minutes to go. The referee stopped the clock. There's an injury for a Wigan player.
Ian Watson anxious on the sidelines. Salford's longest-serving coach of the summer era, Ian Watson. He's been in the job for 62 months and has now overhauled Carl Harrison, who was actually in charge the last time Salford appeared in the playoffs. Club is back on his feet. Justin Holbrook, our studio guest, still waiting to see who his team... We've been here before with this, and it was like the pantomime, wasn't it? The booze that the racket. But Justin Holbrook and St Helens still not sure who they're going to be facing next week. Will it be Wigan? At the moment, it will. But look at this effort from Salford. And here is McCarthy and Club ricochets off him.
Made a quick recovery, Tony Club, didn't he, from that injury?
Man of the match nominees, there you go. Oliver Gildup, Tommy Lulawai from Wigan, Josh Jones and Gil Dudson from the Salford Red Devils. Vote now. The Our League app is the place to go to register your votes.
Well, there's Gil Dudson. I think he's just seen his...
Well done, Rugby League legends. Gil Dudson in there. Here's Niall Evalds. Jackson Hastings. Salford probing. Bibby. Here's Lussick now. Josh Jones. Magnet for the ball. Jones. Lussick. He's been denied a try once. Mossop on the charge, and Mossop is denied. Couldn't get that ball down.
Good work from Zach Hardacre. Look at him celebrating. Well, he had to certainly put his body on the line, didn't he? He came hard onto that ball. He gets rid of him, he knocks him back, but he manages to clamp the ball, get underneath Lee Mossop. And whatever happens in this game, haven't they done a decent job, Salford? The last time, their only other appearance in a Super League playoff, they were beaten by Bradford 13 years ago, 52 points to 6.
And Salford, their supporters still urging them on. The Wigan fans have had something to respond to tonight. They've come from far and wide for this game. I've met a couple of fans from Dublin who've travelled to see this one, and they've got their money's worth. They'll get their money's worth in Wigan later tonight.
And do you know what as well, Bill? Justin Holbrook, our guest in the studio, I'll be loving this, because both teams have belted each other. They've absolutely tore into each other, and they've wasted an awful lot of effort and energy. It's been that quick.
Williams kicks to Inu's wing. And the man who played rugby union in France, who's played all over the world in his career, Krishnan Inu, gathers that ball. Here is Bibby now. Time running out for the Red Devils now, so their supporters give them another G up. Here is Ken Seo, just over the halfway line, the Salford Red Devils. Lussick, Josh Jones now. Is Tommy Lulawai among the man of the match?
Yes, he is.
Good. Here's Hastings. Oh, Lussick.
That was inside to Niall Evalds then, wasn't it?
Just seen that a number of times this year from Salford.
There's some tired players out there on the last, and Hastings gets the kick away. And it's claimed by Marshall. Did well there, but he's lost the ball. He's lost the ball. Lolohea has got it. Here is Dudson now, and Dudson, Gil Dudson driving for the line. He's driven back.
And while all that's going on, Tony Club and Jackson Hastings are like two stags, their heads together.
Those Wigan players need to get in the line to defend.
They are still at it, but the ball is with Wellham. Wellham cuts back in field. Wellham's pass to Evalds. Evalds is brought down by Williams. Here comes McCarthy. McCarthy's pass to Lolohea. Here is Hastings. Hastings is back in action now. It's with Dudson once more. Dudson's pass. Hastings on the runaround. Hastings has broken free. Jackson Hastings tries to stretch out. He can't do so. But plenty of pressure now on the Wigan defence. And Farrell with the tackle on Josh Jones.
They've got plenty of tackles to play with, haven't they?
3 gone this set. Lussick is Lollahea. Evalds steps back in field, Niall Evalds. Really pacey player. He's looking for the gap, is Evalds. He's looking for the gap. Drops the pass off for Inu. Inu is denied just short. And Wigan's defence scrambling for all it's worth. Here is Lussick. Lussick goes for it. That's the 5th tackle. Amazing defence. Isa all over the place there. Little kick, it's traced by Lollahea. It's picked up by French and they'll get the ball back.
How good is this game here? It's got better minute by minute, and Salford Red Devils refuse to give up this game, don't they?
Hastings is in trouble on the sidelines, Marlis. We see this replay.
They're going to get the ball again, but they need Jackson Hastings back in play. The doctor's on it. Appears to be a problem with his eye. Vision in that left eye. Game will stop here.
I don't know whether he was asking for some treatment. Maybe 2 or 3 minutes ago, he looked like he was really passionately pulling people over. He knows how important it is. Yeah. He's a player that will get attention. We talked about Tony Clubb. Tony Clubb and Jackson Hastings came head-to-head, literally, when Jackson Hastings put a high kick in.
Goal line dropouts, 4 minutes and 50 seconds.
What do you think Ian Watson is feeling at the minute? Salford born, Salford bred, played for the club, coaching the club, historic game.
Hardacre's restarts. Here is Mossop. Salford hammering at this Wigan defence. The Warriors rear guard standing firm. Dudson once again, no wonder he's a man of the match candidate. Giving his all against his former club, Lussick. Here is Hastings. George Griffin, try-scorer tonight for the Salford Red Devils. Here is Lussick once more to Dudson. Dudson gives himself up there, Gil Dudson. And now Lussick goes for the ball. It's batted down. Salford will get it back.
Saying it's last play.
He hasn't wiped the tackle count clean. It's still the last play. So it's with Lollahea. They're running it. Griffin gets the pass away. Wellham out to Ken Seo. Seo's pass. Wellham kicks it ahead, and somehow it ends up in the hands of Hardacre, and Wigan survive. Extraordinary.
There's going to be some tough carries here from the Warriors players. Wow, hasn't it been a decent last 10 minutes?
Oh, George Williams putting his body on the line. Just over 3 minutes left in this game.
And Wigan aren't home and dry yet. 18-12 they lead. Here is Tommy Lulawai. They need to keep their cool, see out the closing minutes here, and they will be heading for St Helens and the chance to go to Old Trafford, the winners of that game, that is. And Hardacre wellies that ball down the field. And it's Evalds who collects. Can Salford mount another last charge for glory?
Well, they need everyone back behind the ball. Oh, Thomas Lulawai on Chris Ninu. What a ball, that one, his head rocked back.
2 former New Zealand Warriors going at it there.
I honestly don't know why anybody would run into that player. He's made out of concrete.
Here's McCarthy. Tommy Lulawai still throwing his body into every challenge. Lollahea now. Here is George Griffin. The youngsters, Byrne and Smithies, in with the tackle. That ball's lost, and the referee says it's a knock-on.
George Griffin. There was some heavy contact, especially from the third man, Byrne, when he comes in. Let's see, is there an hand in? Yeah, there is. Wow.
And that is the point I was making in the first 10 minutes. It's too hard for the referee. Players are putting hands, trying to gain penalties consistently throughout every single game. It's too tough for the referee. Some go with you, some go against you.
tonight's official attendance here at the
Here is Chris Hankinson.
It's 9,247.
And Wigan now will try and keep possession. Dudson very fiercely in on Liam Marshall. This is going to take some recovering from. Justin Holbrook will be happy to see Wigan really giving a tough run for their money here tonight. It has been a gruelling game.
There's
massive performance.
Sorry, Bill, there's always been that argument. Is it better to be rested, fresh, or is it better to be battle-hardened? Well, they've had an almighty challenge, haven't they? Just over a minute left. It looks like they'll get the win, Wigan, and they've worked really hard for it.
Tommy Luluai puts the kick in. It's not a good one because Dudson was pressing, and it's still with Salford, still in the last minute of the game maybe, and an opportunity for the Red Devils to grab this one out of the fires. But they're going to have to come up with something spectacular in the last minute now.
I don't think the Warriors are going to blow it. Now, not when they've worked so hard to stay in front of this determined Salford side.
Here is Ken Seo, so close to a try for the Red Devils, denied by the video ref, denied correctly by the video ref. Here is Jackson Hastings, onto Evalds, Evalds to Bibby. Good tackle from Luluai once again. Inu. Josh Jones. The time is running out. It's Inu's little kick. Bibby will chase it, and Hardacre over the dead ball line. That's it. That's the final play of the game, surely. And Wigan will celebrate. There goes the hooter. And Salford have given their all, but Wigan have survived. A rousing playoff tie between these two sides. 18-12, Wigan win. But boy, did they have to work for this performance. And those Salford Red Devils supporters can be proud of the effort of their side. They're going to have to do it all again next week when they face the Castleford Tigers at the H.A. Bell Stadium. And Wigan have got to dust themselves down, recover and head for the Totally Wicked Stadium to play St Helens.
And if that result next week goes in favour of Salford, they could, again could meet in a couple of weeks, couldn't they?
Justin Holbrook knows now it is going to be the Wigan Warriors once again for his St Helens side. Great rivalry and at stake, a place at Old Trafford. What more could you want? And that, of course, will be live here on Sky Sports. Fantastic performance from both these sides. Heroic display defensively from both camps. And Salford, the underdogs, doing again what they've done so many times this season. They've come up short once again against the Wigan Warriors, and Wigan achieving a 10th consecutive home win. The last side to beat Wigan on this ground was St Helens on Good Friday, 36 points to 10. Of course, that meeting will be at the Totally Wicked Stadium, and Wigan will have to go there and try and upset the league leaders. Well, there were numerous candidates for the man of the match performance because there were so many big performances.